Okay, hello there, citizens of YouTube. This is DK here with Mr. V Amps, and we have a Leslie speaker out of a home organ. And my friend asked me to make a motor control for it. Now, y'all might remember that project, that one over there. Yes, there is garbage all over the floor. Well, not garbage, but tools and stuff and things. And it's... I have been really busy, and I've had to refuse new work because we're still having lots of things come in and lots of things to do. But this one, unlike that one, that's a single speed motor, so I was able to put like a fan control on it to adjust the speed, and then the push button for it, which is ironically sitting right there, is just on off. So yeah, it sounds good. 10-inch speaker, very similar to this, except this has a more unique sort of a double motor. I suppose I can unplug this relay to give you a little bit more clearance. There you go. So there's two motors. The lower motor is the fast motor to run the thing full speed, and then the upper one is a slower running motor. It's not actually a slower running motor, but it brings a little stick down there like a little capstan, like a tape recorder, and it actually runs on, let's see if we can focus. See that wheel with the rubber grommet on the outside, that sort of coppery looking wheel with that rubber grommet? It actually runs on the outside of that with a little spindle, so it runs slow. So there's a slow and a fast. And I had to develop a circuit that we could safely, from a foot switch or whatever, control this thing. The owner wants to build the cabinet, so I did this using relays. Okay, I drew you a schematic. We have our 120 volts in, and then we need to fuse it. I did fuse it, I just didn't show that on my schematic. And then I come to this, which says 12 volts DC. This actually just represents a wall wart. Hey, recognize that? That's glued in there, it ain't going nowhere. So we have double pole relays, and because it was a double pole relay, both the hot and common are on the first switch, driven with the first 12 volt coil. So this comes out to our foot switch here, and essentially if you engage the foot switch button, it puts energy through the relay and turns the power on to this relay, thus turning on a motor. The motor that is turned on is dependent on the second relay, which is this one. So there's our first relay, the on-off relay, and then the second relay is, I have one normally open, normally closed. So if it is de-energized, it'll go to the, let's see, if it's de-energized, I have it going to the fast motor, so it's backwards from here. But if it's de-energized, it goes to the fast motor, and then if you energize it by clicking the other button on the foot switch, it will switch to fast mode. And so essentially we've got two relays, and then the foot switch is only seeing 12 volts, so you're not going to shock the poop out of yourself. Of course, this was originally in a home organ, which all used, 120 volt switches, kind of like light switches, which would be fine, but you don't want to run a cord like that across the stage. Number one, it would be big, thick, and everybody would trip over it, as opposed to the smaller ones that everybody trips over anyway. But tearing these apart and or potentially stepping on 120 volts on a thin, cheap piece of wire, the cable would have to be a lot thicker and yuckier. So we're just using 12 out of our little wall wart, and the circuit works pretty good. So I suppose I'll just demonstrate it working. Okay, I also added an LED to the foot switch because dude wanted to know whether or not it was on fast or slow. So our foot switch is labeled on off and fast slow. It plugs into that switchcraft jack down there at the bottom, which we can't see because we don't have enough light. So there's our big daddy light there to tell you that. That's just a regular switchcraft stereo jack. Our first relay, which does have, these relays do have LEDs, so you might be able to see them kick on. That's the on-off relay, and then that is your speed relay. And that should engage and operate our motor. So I'll turn our lights off here. Let's try the on motor. There we go. So we're on, and the light is on when we're in slow-mo. So we're on slow, And then if I click this, that light will go out and it will go to full throttle. So she's a working. Sounds like a regular Leslie. I mean, it's just a typical, you know, 10-inch organ speaker, but I could play my guitar through it. It sounds exactly like my other one. But I figure if I don't demonstrate my phenomenal work, see, and then and these are kind of independent, so I can switch this to slow, and it will instantly go to slow. And then I click on fast again, and it'll whip back up. There it goes. And what's neat is, let's say it's running in fast and I stop it, I can actually click slow again, and then when I ask it to kick back up, it'll kick into slow. So there you go. That's what we did. We'll test it a little bit just to prove that it works. But I have been super busy. Lots of things to do here, and I have refused all new work right now. I'm probably going to be working for the next few months just to clear this stuff out before I take on any more projects. It's a good problem to have, but a bad problem to have if you're waiting on your stuff. Okay, so here goes. Okay, so I say I hope our new owner is happy. He wants to build. He said he's going to build the cabinet, so it's fine. Probably better because I'm running out of time to do like anything. But he's a real nice guy, a fantastic musician. The building that we're in now is actually formerly was a music store owned by a music family, and I run a computer business out of it now. But he is the third generation running the music shop, and he's still in the music business. So it's kind of funny that the device here was built inside of the basement of the building that his grandfather built some years ago. So the music really never left this place. It just kind of changed. Nothing quite sounds like a Leslie speaker. I don't care. You can take your Leslie simulators and stick them in your ear. Bye.